I now request the chief guest, Shri Nipun Sahni, to deliver the inaugural address.
Today we are in 2014, and perhaps some of you are, sitting in the audience are involuntarily texting, right? But that was not the case way back, when these technologies were new. So the point I'm trying to get to is there is a change happening all over the place, and but it's not just about the change; it's really the rate of change which is accelerating so rapidly. Rate of change meaning what change we saw in the last 5 years is way higher than what was the change in the previous 5 years was way higher than the change that happened in the previous 5 years. I'll give you some examples for you to envision and understand what I'm talking about. The cell phone, the smartphone that you have in your pocket has more computing power than the Apollo capsule which landed on the moon. Think about it. Think about it. We've all read the Moore's law and the fact that computing capacity doubles every 18 months, but when you see examples like that, you're able to actually understand the magnanimity of this transformation and the impact. Another example, 90% of the data that exists today, 90% of it got created in the last 2 years. Now, we've had computers for, what, 30, 40 years now? We've had the internet for 2 decades now, right? And to say that all those years, all those multiple decades, we only created 10% of the data, and 90% of it, just came in last 2 years. I mean, it's mind-boggling for me. So I'll basically leave it to you to decide when we talk of things like, big data, predictive analytics, all kinds of, names. Are these just names? Are these just passing fads? Or are these things that we need to sit up and take notice of, right? Every minute, we are creating 570 websites. Think about it. Last 3-4 minutes that I've been talking, we probably created 2,000, 2,500 websites already. Through your smartphone, right? Through your smartphone, you're actually connected to what is the infinite reservoir of compute and storage capacity which is sitting in the cloud, right? So not only are you mobile, and by the way, you're anyway much more powerful than the Apollo capsule which landed on the moon. That computing power is anyway in your hands, but then this computing power, which could sound minuscule, few years ahead, is actually connected to that, seemingly infinite reservoir of storage and compute capacity. What I'd like to urge you to think is, what are the possibilities that such changes could create? I mean, the possibilities can be, fundamental. They could be basics. They could be impacting. These are changes which are. There is this talk in the corporate world these days about a term called, especially more in the IT world, and the term called SMAC. SMAC is social, mobile, analytics, and cloud, right? So each one of these technology pieces, technology element, is very, very potent and very powerful in its own right, But it's not really about those individual technologies. It's not just about social media alone, or mobility alone, or analytics alone, or cloud. But it's really when these technologies work in tandem, work in combination, the impact that they can have on our lives, the transformation is as big, as fundamental as, this is not like one of those typical technology transition where you move from mainframes to PC and ERP to internet. This is something that could be as big as moving from an agricultural economy to an industrial economy. This is the scope of change. This is the pace of change that we are all staring at today. Let me give you one more example of how such combinations of different technologies can create those massive disruptions in business. Take the example of a FMCG company like Pepsi, right? Pepsi wants to launch a new flavor of their drink. And how did it happen before? You had retailers who would sell the new drink to the customers, and over the period of next few weeks and months, feedback will trickle in, second hand, third back, it will make its way to the company through the channel partners and sales team, and then they'll figure out whether it was the right thing, wrong thing, what was good, what was bad about it. How does this happen today? Fast forward to today. Today those companies are directly connected to those consumers. Those consumers are on the move. Those consumers are connected to social media and the cloud while being on the move. And within minutes of the launch of the new drink, you have the feedback trickling in on the social media, and you have thousands and thousands of data points to analyze, understand, dissect it in a million ways and figure out, basically derive insights out of that data, and then figure out, was it a right decision? Was it a wrong decision? Do I want to change it, right? So just think about the pace, just think about the velocity at which such decisions, such transitions, such new things can be tried out, right?